Good morning, everybody. I need coffee.
Ooh, that's way too hot, I think. Yeah, that's a wee bit too hot to drink still. Alright, I gotta move stuff around for this game because I've got 2 different keyboards I gotta bring on the table. What's up, Vanessa? Good morning. Good morning, Ashley. Good morning, folks. Well, we're a little early this morning. My cat Leia woke me up just meowing at my door, begging for food. So they have been fed. Got the controller here. Good to go here. Play. Oh, you know something I didn't look at yesterday? Yeah, I typically do 2 streams a day, Ashlad. Yep. We do one, starts around this time, usually about 30 minutes later, but in this time period, we start this time every single day. We go for 3 to 4 hours, and then I come back in the afternoon my time, which is about 1 p.m. Central. Hey, I was reading something really quick on... Yeah, that's a whole other... So, okay. Alright. I'm educating myself on the screen tearing thing. It's because... I'm guessing it's because of the difference between my monitor on the streaming machine and the monitor on the gaming machine. The FPSs aren't aligning, so it's stuff I'd have to dig into. Not worried about it at the moment. Oh, you haven't met me. You're tuning into a live stream, but you haven't met me. I always get a chuckle out of that one. Nice to meet you. We haven't met. You've said hi on a social media app. Or on a live stream. Or on a video. Or in a Discord channel. I am not a night owl. I am 7:38 p.m. every night in bed, up at 4. I do not like staying up late. I never have. My wife, on the other hand, if you give her the opportunity, she'll stay up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, sleep till 9 or 10. She prefers a little bit of a different block of timing. Man, I almost feel like I could. By the way, there's no screen tearing this morning. What the heck? I'm not going to complain. Must have fixed something in my testing. I almost feel like I could turn down the vertical. Nah, it's going to be look sensitivity, period. And I don't think I want to drop it down more than. Oh, there it is. Once I hit the options, I came back from the options. It's there now. That's good times. All right, we are going to go searching for this quest right here. We had some friends who did van life, and Chris and I had a long debate when we were before we came here, like before we moved to the homestead, we had already purchased it, and we knew we were going to be leaving Mexico City. Where's the rum gone, says Thandar. I know, right? When we knew we were going to be leaving the city, we actually had a pretty big discussion. This is before we had all the animals. And we were deciding whether or not we were going to move out to the countryside, or did we want to go buy a van and do a very limited tour in a van for about, I think if I remember correctly, it was about 8 months, 6 to 8 months. We were gonna buy the van, go up to my brother's place, renovate the van, document the entire process, of course. It was a business venture. We were gonna buy the van, document the whole thing, go do like a 6-month trip up through Colorado, into Idaho, over to like Washington and Portland and California, and then come back up and go through Montana and Wyoming, Nebraska and everything, and see all the mountains, and then come back down, sell the van, and then have an entire, between the footage of the documentation of building the van, then doing the tour with the van, and then using the documentation of all of that to sell the van. We put, I think, about 4 months of prep work into that before we ultimately decided not to do it. My brother was getting involved. We were going to do it all at my brother's place. He was going to go in on halvesies with the van. And then it got to the point where we were looking at all of the restrictions with the pandemic, and just the nature of Starlink was good then. It wasn't as good as it is now. But it was like, at the end of it, we just decided, you know what, let's just invest our money in doing this other thing. And so we did the other thing. And here we are. Van life it can be fun if you're okay with confined spaces and like being on the road. I think those are two very much restrictions that's why it's a niche thing. You have to love being on the road, and you have to love living in a confined space. You have to be okay with being minimalistic. That's a tough pill to swallow for some people. The other thing is if you do it solo, do it with animals is, that's tricky. Having kids makes it even trickier. It is, but it is a vibe. We've got some friends who have done it professionally. I say professionally, I mean they are full-time at it. We used to have friends who were big in the, when we were back in the travel industry, you'd also have people who made full-time careers out of, like, house sitting. It's another way of doing it. Yeah, rent prices are ridiculous, John. I'm not going to say I'm blessed, because I'm not. It's just work, and it's just, I have been broke before. I have been there, and one of the things I'm the most grateful for right now is that Chris convinced me to do this. Because it did take a lot of convincing, because I was really worried about the internet connection out here. I was like, man, because and it's not perfect, but it's way more, it's, knock on wood, it's more, it's gotten better over time, and I can sit here and I can work like I need to. Because it wasn't that way when we were first here in 2014. In 2014, it was like, oh my God, there's like no internet out here. Because we are out in the far reaches, but it came so far in 10 years that it wasn't a problem. And I could get Starlink down here if I needed to. But yeah, these companies have it covered. But I know tons of people who had to move back in with family. And if you come from a culture where that's not a thing, that could be rough. It could be rough. Yeah. Even the lady we lived at, she was really cool with us in the city. She raised our rent in the middle of the pandemic, which I will never forget as one of the scummiest things I think anybody could do. She was a super nice lady, and I understand why she had to do it, but she had like 6 apartments. She was a school teacher during the daytime, and then she had like these 6 little apartments that she managed. And she's, middle class lady, super nice the whole time we were there. Super, she's a hardcore Catholic church teacher lady. But yeah, in the middle of the pandemic, her apartments were all just sitting empty. And she raised our rent. She was polite about it, but still. And I had to fight back and not have her raise it as much as she wanted to. Because when she originally reached out, I really need to raise rent. I'm sorry, but these are just economic situations. And I'm like, I totally get it. And you haven't raised the rent in the 3 other years we've been here. So I'm okay with that. But let's talk about the timing of the, you're asking quite a bit more. And she came down on it. She came down like halfway from what she wanted to raise it to. But I think that was our sign that it was time to leave, because it was like, we've been here 3 years. We like the place. We like the culture and everything else, but we're just burning all this money in rent. And in these uncertain times, I don't know if I want to keep burning all this money on rent. We should go do something else. And Chris was like, well, we have enough cash on hand. We go buy this. We should. And so we did, and then ultimately came out here. Vans also could be really expensive. If you're not someone who wants to deal with an old clunker, or you're not comfortable with mechanical skills, van life can be fun, but it can also be expensive. Like, you could do budget and get a $5,000, $10,000 van, but you're often going to be spending a lot of time being your own mechanic and dealing with all those sorts of issues. So if you really want something decent, you're going to spend, I mean, I guess it's going to depend on your level of, like, how much of a comfort level do you want against breakdowns and things of that nature. Because you can go 30 grand, like a new van, like Dodge, Ford. You're looking 30 with no frills, 30 grand. Up to 50 grand if you want like all the package stuff. The ship washed ashore ages ago. The hull is rotten and the planks are only good for kindling. This one is beyond saving. One more to check. Yeah, so we're in the $800 a month range, Vanessa, and that's one of the reasons. Like, when we looked at it, it was like it was going to be slightly more expensive depending on everything else, but it was going to be between like $1,000 and $1,200 for the two of us to do the van thing for. I think we planned 9 months on top of the purchase, which we were looking at like a 30 grand. Because we were going to do like 15 and my brother was going to do like 15. And do like try to find something in the $30,000 range. And then renovate and like do the build ourselves. Because I've got tons of construction knowledge. My brother has a big shop. All his tools. He's got his own sawmill. So we had planned on doing a pretty elaborate like home build too. But yeah, solar panels are the way to go. When we first moved here, solar panels were not really available because no one in the area knew how to do the installs. But now, within the last couple of years, we've had several local businesses spring up who do solar panels. So I think we're finally going to be able to. We went out to the. Matter of fact, I think we might go out there today. I'm not sure. Our forest property, if we end up building something out there, well, that'll end up being a solar property. Because there's no power lines out there at all right now. And there probably won't be power lines or water for, it could be 10 years. All right, I gotta write this down. $100 wood, 20 nails, 20 fabric, 10 ropes. There was a guy I used to follow in the van life circuit who was a full-time gamer, living out of a van too. Previously he worked for like Oh man, this has been a few years ago now. It's got to be like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. He had previously worked in like the movie special effect industry or something, and then had always been like a gamer, and so he had his focus was on having a van that was set up for gaming on the road. It's bad screen tearing. It's not happening. I'm gonna restart. I'll see if restarting fixes it here in a second, because it wasn't happening until I opened up the menu. When I opened up the menu, it started doing it. It's not happening on the monitor. It's happening through my capture card, and there's technicality stuff here that I'm not an expert at. Give me a second here. I'm gonna restart real quick. Anyway, I'll talk through this. There's technical aspects to it that I don't understand because I'm old and stupid. Um, and I was reading up on it this morning. Um, my question is a matter of time, and when do I have time to sit down and troubleshoot something? I'll restart it really quick and see if that fixes it. Because it's definitely not on the laptop monitor, but it is on. I see it on the screen here because we're running it through a capture card. And apparently, there's some frame rate differences. Yeah, that is the objective is to get to the point where you can get sponsors for that kind of stuff. I don't care about it with this particular gig, but when we were traveling full time, sponsors are the way to go because like when you go if you're going to go to Europe and you can get like your rail, which we got eventually, which is great. When you get your rail to sponsor your trip, it's like all your travel's covered while you're in Europe. Um, your flights are usually covered by the host. So what Chris and I would usually do is when we got to that point was you got to sponsor, you got a DMO, you got a tourism board or a hotel or somebody who's flying you in to do some work. And I would always ask them, can you be flexible on the exit flights? Because it doesn't matter to them. They're going to spend the same amount of money to bring you in flight-wise, right? The cost of your contract is different, but the cost of them paying for your flights and everything gets you in, that doesn't change based on an exit date. And so what I would always try to do is get them to pay for a flight where I get to choose the exit date. And so what I would do is we would go in and let's say they're flying us in for 4 days to a week. I would always try to get us, and it just depended on the timing and everything else, but anything between a month to 3 months on the ground. Because once your flights are covered, and you know you're going to be there working with Company A, you can then go to Company B and say, hey, I'm already going to be here with Company A. What do you want to do? Do you want to do anything with us between here and here? Once you get that company, but that's always a transport company. Because your flights are covered, now you're coming in, and now you're like, okay, I want to go here. Are you willing to sponsor this leg of the journey? And if you're already with Company A, Company B is way more likely to be like, oh yeah, sure. And so 2-3 emails, you're going to find somebody who can help you get. This is, by the way, when you're already at the top, not when you're working your way up. Because when you're working way up, just pay for this shit yourself because it's way fucking easier. It's way easier to just pay your own way. But then you get the transport covered, and once you know you have this covered and this covered, you can then start to line up your accommodations along the way. And that was just a matter of calling another, like in some cases we would find places like when we were in Ireland, the Blue Book Association. We had already met them and worked with them on the press tour we were doing with the Ireland government, the Irish government, and the travel conference that had flown us in. So we had already met the people, and we're like, hey, Chris and I are already doing this, because we had already gotten transport sorted out to do the Wild Atlantic Way, which was the whole coast. And I was like, we're already going to be doing this road trip. Why don't we, like, go visit all of your properties along the way and include those in the tour? And they were like, absolutely. Here's like 10 castles you can go to along your way. And that was like, well, there's 10 out of the 14 nights we're going to be on the road sorted. Done. And then you make money off of that on the back end too, from all your videos and all your Instagram posts and any sponsored stuff you do for those companies. Spain was your rail, as well as the Spanish government gave us a rental car for like 3/4 of that trip, and did all the, everything. Puerto Vallarta, we were doing all the resorts and photography for Oyster and TripAdvisor, and they per diem'd everything. All our food was covered. Cars covered, daily rate covered. But it is always easier to just do it on your own in the beginning. But sponsors are the way to go if you can get them, because, man, that helps out a lot. There are days I miss that job. Not many days, but some days. I don't miss airports, that's for sure. Okay, it did save the progress, so we're good. I just gotta go back. It's probably way easier to go back to my main base and just do it there. Yeah, there you go. If you've got the money to cover your own stuff right now, there's zero reason to monetize it. The other thing I would urge, and I know it's not necessarily feasible for everybody, but I know I talk about it sometimes because I'm not the only person who has done what I've done in terms of like buying a property somewhere for dirt cheap and then building something up. Like, there are so many content creators I've followed over the years who have done some variant of this. So like, there's Nate Petrowski from, he's got like he's kind of a hillbilly looking, he looks like a hillbilly. He's got a long beard and long stringy hair, and the Petrowski Homestead, I think is what it's called, whatever. Anyway, he has managed to turn that into a multi-million-dollar thing where, and I've been watching him since it wasn't that. I've seen it back when it was just him, like living on a few $100 a year, not showering, and living out in the middle of nowhere on this piece of property that he bought. It's been 7 or 8 years now. And watched that grow into this thing where he has all these animals. He's got multiple 24-hour live streams covering all the things that are happening on the homestead, multiple Twitch and YouTube channels always going. But I mean, that's a job. I mean, it's a full-on, but he managed to, turn that into something different. And then that's obviously at the top end of the scale. There's a couple I found recently who sold their stuff in England and moved to Bulgaria. And the reason that one resonated with me was because I lived in Bulgaria years ago. And so that one has been very interesting to watch. And they were able to leave and buy the property, move and everything for under 30,000 pounds, which is like, I don't know, 25,000 US dollars, something like that. There's another guy I follow on YouTube who bought a property in the Italian Alps, and he bought a rundown. He got it for like 22,000 euro plus the taxes he had to pay, and he had to pay a bunch of permits to get the permission to renovate the buildings. So he spent about, I think it was like 28,000 US dollars to buy a piece of property, and get everything up and going. And he has a YouTube channel that's just I've been following for a long time now too. And he was a filmmaker and photographer from before he bought the property, so he's documented the entire process to, and his YouTube channel blew up because of it, because he's an amazing filmmaker. But it had these two like fallen down, random, broken down apartment. They're not apartment, but like stone buildings on them. I don't know why I said apartment. And now he's got a YouTube channel that brings him in, several $1,000s a month, and pays for the entire expansion of that property. It's been pretty cool. That'll probably be what I do after I do this, which I'm probably going to keep doing this until I'm too old and can't do this anymore. But I already know that once we get the next property going, I'm going to probably switch over and do that primarily, and only do this like once or twice a week. Depends on a few things, but this has been financially, this is knock on wood, this is working very well. And if this continues to grow the way it's been growing, I should be able to manage that transition and do this, 1 or 2 days a week to generate what I need to then put back into building that other place and ramping up that YouTube channel, and which is just the homestead channel that we already have, but I'll go all in on that. We're not willing to do it with this place because there's too many things wrong with this place. This is a great place to live, no doubt, and we are always going to have this place. We're never getting rid of this place. But it's also not something where we can just fix everything. It's just like, yeah, it is what it is. So we're really looking forward to building something from scratch. The reason I say this is because John Coons was saying something about moving back in with his step parents, and I saw some other comments earlier. And since we're talking van life and stuff, the reason I bring all this up is because I would urge, I know it might sound difficult, but I would urge anybody who's really seriously looking to just control their own shit as much as possible. Like, you can find property in many places in the world for $15,000, $10,000 to $15,000 on the low end, $20,000 to $30,000 if you want to, spend, and that can get you a very livable chunk of land where you can build something, or you can put a van, or you can put a caravan, or you can put something on the property that's yours. Your only real requirements are that you, in these days and age, is somewhere where you can get a Starlink connection and have solar. Because if you can have solar and a Starlink connection, you can do content creation or gaming or whatever anywhere in the world. And you can find property for $10,000, $15,000 on the low end, 20 to 30 on the upper, assuming you're on a budget. You do not have to spend $250,000 to buy land. You do not. I promise you do not. You can get a livable chunk of land where you can have a garden, plenty of space. Obviously, investigation is key, so that you got to pay attention to property taxes, and there's lots of things like that. But yeah, there might be compromises. Like where our homestead is, it's way too hot in the summertime. Like I am in the uncomfortable time of the year right now where I just live inside of my office because it's air conditioned, and it gets way hotter in like May and June May is the hot month really. But for the amount of money that we paid for this place and put into it, it's worth the couple of months of sweatiness. Yeah, Starlink's great. And yeah, you totally can get internet all the way in Antarctica. Like you can go pretty much. It wasn't like that 5-6 years ago, but now these days, like you can go pretty much anywhere with Starlink. It's pretty amazing. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you're at the point where you can manage to squeeze a few shillings together and buy a piece of land, that is the other good thing about land is that it's the one asset that you can get a hold of that will never ever ever depreciate ever. Land always only ever goes up in value. And so the problem is, I think there's a bug in here. A lot of the times, a lot of people will think that, I got to spend $100,000 to buy land, or there's nothing available in my area. There might not be anything in your area. You might have to look farther than your area. You might have to look abroad. But like I will say, the other thing too is, like, if you watch, like, Italy has done this 7 or 8 times in the last 10 years, and they're not the only country that does it. There are countries like Italy where they have these really rundown old villages where all the youth have left over the past 20 years. And so these villages have started to sort of fall apart. And there are still people living there, and they would like to somehow bring economy back into that local environment. Those properties I've seen them go for as little as $5,000 to $10,000 for like an abandoned old, you know, not in the best of conditions little place in a quiet little Italian village in the middle of nowhere, or, similar. Greece has done it, I think, a couple of times. So if you can get in on one of those government programs as well, like, you can get a piece of prop, and there are requirements. Like, you're required to live there, you're required to invest a certain amount of money over the next, like, 2 years. But you're required to go there, live there, and make it a better place. That's just the requirement, right? How you do that is up to you. But I have seen people go in with $5,000, 5,000 euro, spend 10,000 to renovate the place, and then 2 years later they've got this really nice. Am I going to get attacked by a big ship? I'm talking and not paying attention. Dude, I may die on the way to my little island. I wasn't paying attention. Oh, they're totally going to come get me. I'm toast. I did not know this could happen in my tiny little vessel. Oh, there's no way I'm going to make it to land if they keep... Help! California's awesome, Vanessa. Just the Pacific Northwest in general is freaking awesome. It's got some of the best weather all year round. It's really great for van, RVing, caravanning. I'm running machine. I'm going. So far they haven't hit me, knock on wood, and I'm wondering if this vessel is maybe immune because it is the starter vessel. Yeah, like Vanessa's saying too. Like, you could totally get going in van thing, caravan thing for 10, 15 grand if you're budgeting. Yep, that kind of stuff exists in those places for sure, John. What happens when I get out of my ship? They follow me ashore? Oh, I got so sidetracked with things I forgot about something. Y'all, I may have moderately indulged this morning before I started playing, and then I got sidetracked talking about van life stuff. I forgot I was supposed to be back here chopping down trees. And I restarted the game for the screen tearing because I wanted to see if that fixed it, and I totally forgot that I was supposed to be over here gathering components. Bologna's a great place. Yeah, life's too short to wait for that kind of shit, John. Get on it, man. Well, to be honest with you, Machine, believe it or not, I actually, I couldn't convince Chris to do it, but I actually have, I have gone off the deep end a couple of times. I know nothing about, like, sailing, right? But when we were in Italy and Spain and the Mediterranean, essentially, there are people who, like, live in boats year-round, and they just sort of, like, sail between the coastal cities depending on the weather. But they'll basically just, you know, they live... It's the van life, but you're on a boat. But it's not like a seafaring vessel. It's like a coastal hugging sailboat, right? So it's, you know, you're not going to be going, you're not going to be crossing the ocean, but you're literally just moving out and going from port to port along the Mediterranean coast, essentially. And you might spend 3-4 months in a place. You might spend 2-3 weeks in a place. But you're living on a boat. And I went off the deep end, like, investigating that one time. 2 times, actually. Well, one was the only one that was, like, serious. I've looked at it maybe a couple more times, but the one was, like, with serious intent. And I couldn't convince Chris to do it. And she loves the beach and everything else, but she was just not a fan of the concept of, like, going out into the water and sailing for potentially weeks at a time, you know, a week or 2 here or there in between destinations. And it was like, what if it wasn't a week? We could do coastal hugging stuff. I don't know. She wasn't that a big fan of it. She does love caravans, though, which is why she was all on board for, like, caravan and van life. Alright, 100 wood, 20 nails. So I need to make some nails, wood, and fabric. But you could do, like, a coastal hugging vessel machine for, like, about the same cost as a van. Like, you could spend $10,000-$15,000 and do it on the cheap, or you can spend 30 grand and get a pretty solid vessel that's gonna last you 10-15 years as long as you take care of it. You know, it's the same cost, and really your only limitation at that point, because Starlink gets you internet anywhere now. Like, one of the guys I follow, it's called Farther Side on TikTok. He doesn't do full time, but he's like a nurse by day. Like, his day job is as like a nurse, and then he does these solo traverses of the ocean. And he's done multiple solo traversals, and he documents the entire process. But that's the only time he publishes content on that page is when he's doing a trip. And so he might only publish like once a year, sometimes twice a year. But he'll always go do these like 3-month, you know, Sometimes it's a month passage, and then he'll be offline for a month, and then he'll do another one. He'll do like 2 or 3 in a year. But he's done some big ones where he's been out at sea for, you know, quite a while, and it's solo passage stuff. But with Starlink, you know, he gets to document that entire journey and gets to do daily updates. There's actually 3 different content creators I follow on TikTok who are doing the whole ocean crossing thing, which I would never, ever, ever do. But it's really enjoyable to watch. I need 20 fabric. Can I input the amount? No, you cannot. $20 fabric, 20 nails. I need more copper. 10 ropes. I don't have enough to make the ropes, so I'll put this in storage. We gotta go find some more copper, I think. Copper probably doesn't respawn either. I haven't really found any more. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go to a different island, I think. What the hell is the X for? Blackboot Cruise. Oh, I have a map. Yeah, Starfield is a great game. It really is. I have a great time with it. I don't. Yeah, that was the thing when I first looked into van life, like back in like 2014. We couldn't do it because the internet was just not available at the time. It was just there was no way. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to have good enough internet to be able to make money online with shitty internet. I was like, we can't do it. And that was like back 2014 we were looking into it. The internet was not, Starlink was not a thing back then. Get your coffee, Gray. I need a second cup for sure. I think there's only been the one. I need to see if there's any more copper on this island, so let's meander around and see if I can't find any more copper. And hides, any sort of pigs I come across. Chop chop, Gray, get your coffee, man. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Give me coffee before I blow up. No, I need to go this way. What? Is this over here? That was a curio, but it was a book. Came across a smuggler's cache yesterday. Found a pinch of gunpowder and a bottle of rum. If their other hideouts are as bare, they must be in bad shape. Rumor has it the smuggling on Tortuga is run by Henry Every. Probably nonsense. His fancy hasn't put to sea in 20 years, though they once told a legend about him. Huh. I'll bury the gear nearby with a tree marked by a red flag. Oh, so that's gonna be another treasure. Alright, there should be another something around here. I may need it to be light time, otherwise I'm going to have a hard time finding that, I wonder. Do I get to read that again? Where does it go? Thank you. I'll bury the excess gear nearby beneath the tree marked with a red flag. Tree with a red flag. Jesus, I don't see a tree with a red flag. Hang on, is that a flag? I think that's a, yeah, that's a red bandana. Okay, yeah, okay. No. I forgot I had to use it like this. Dig. God damn it. I forget what button to push to dig. Oh, it has to be green. That's probably why. No. It does. I ain't seen shit so far. Yeah, I don't see anything. Oh, there it is. God, I had to dig a while for that one. I mean... I really need to, I need copper. in a bad way need copper. I'm gonna have to go to another island. I know I saw some the other day when we were exploring. Because I can't build... I can't build the nails without copper. And I must have used all mine. I could go double check to see if maybe there's some that's unrefined that I can maybe use. Leave me alone, birdie. I got my own stuff going on. I got my own problems, bird. Yeah, I did. Oh, I have some to take, though. See, never mind. I don't need to go harvest. Jesus. All right, hold up. Oh, I do need to get some more fabric, though, because, I gotta make, some more ropes and fabrics. Some more ropes and not enough inventory space. What sacrilege is this? I gotta do something about all these things, but I don't want to spend the time to do it yet. Hold that thought. More fabric. And I cut down all these trees. I think I have enough wood now. Kill the plants, sir. Kill those filthy green beasts. Take the shrubbery by the curliest. Make them pay. Oh, we got a storm. Ah! Alright, I need 10 ropes and 10 more nails. Yep, let's grab a bunch of bullets too. Let's make... No, that's too many bullets, Jesus. How do I go down? 20 bullets is fine. Oh, wait. That made way more than I thought it was going to make. times 5 per iteration. I didn't pay attention to that. All right, well, I have a bunch of bullets now. Man, inventory storage is a big thing, isn't it? Do I have enough left over to make another storage chest? Oh shit, I've got access to blue gear now. Oh, Privateer's Regalia. Increases critical chance. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna wait till I get back, I think, for that, because I do need to make more storage, but I don't have an abundance of space right now, so let's go ahead and put I've got my 20 nails. I've got 100 wood. I got 100 wood. Yeah, I'm just doing that. I can harvest more when I get there. So I have 100 wood, 20 nails. Hang on, I put the fabric somewhere. 20 fabric and 10 rope. Okay, we're good on that front. Jesus, think I have enough rocks? I don't need all that stone. Let's get rid of all this shit. I don't need all this food either. I have an excess of bullets right now. I've leaned down my inventory, and I should be good to make my way back out there. However, I need more coffee. Yeah, the Steam box is going to be very interesting for all of those. Like, all the people who wanted to get into PC gaming before, but it was just too expensive. The Steam box is gonna, that'll be it. That's where that's gonna have its target market for sure. Not really, geeks. I play so many new games, I don't really have to think about old games. Alright, I'm gonna go get some more coffee. waiting to see what Chris feels like when she wakes up today. She had said yesterday if I asked if I wanted to go walking to the forest tomorrow, back out to our other property. And I was like, I don't know. We'll see how you feel for it. I'm usually okay for it as long as the back's not being too bitchy. It is a hike. But then yesterday she was so tired, she was like, I don't know. $100 wood, 20 nails, 25 by 10 rope. Yeah, I think, right, machine. I think it's really an entry level. You know, it's going to be good enough to run the vast majority of Steam games on a pretty, medium to high setting. But like newer games, it won't be able to run on max for sure. And those ships are out there again. They may be sailing in the other direction this time. Hey, what was that, little shit? You just jumped on my lap, which you never do, out of nowhere, and like jumped on top of me and my controller. What are you doing? Hi. Are you wanting to play? Is that? That's literally what that is. You're a demon. You're a demon. I brought her in. She was asleep on top of the refrigerator, and I brought her in here, and she's got the zoomies. She's got to get it out of her system, because she's like, I'm in the office with Daddy. Ah. You want your toy lizard that I got you yesterday? Her fascination the last week has been, I've got my belt wrapped around the edge of this other chair, and it just hangs down like a giant snake or something for her, and she just goes to town with this old leather belt. She'll spend 30 minutes just... Did I just get hit? was gonna say, I don't think they actually hit me last time, so I'm not really worried about them right now. I don't think they can affect this. Well, we also got her. We got all of them, but they have their own version, and then she has this, which is this little. The green screen makes it look fun. It's a little lizard. Oh, yeah, she's got it. Oh, did you finally put your observation skills to use, Taylor Coat? I thought this was Starfield, but I guess it's Windrose. Well, I'm glad that you were able to put those observation skills to good use. Now, they leave you alone once you land, right? Oh shit, he's coming in. Oh, maybe he's not. They're gonna turn. Neener, 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 you can't hit me. But as soon as I repair this ship, we're gonna have to deal with those guys. I landed on the wrong one anyway. It might be better just to like. These guys are gonna follow me the whole way out. Maybe they can't come through here. They follow me through? No, they did not follow me through. Are you done with the lizard, sweetheart? No, you are not done. No, don't carry it off underneath the bed, because if I can't see you with it, you'll end up chewing it into pieces, and I don't know that you should be eating the material that that's made out of. What's that? Oh, it's covered in cat slobber now. Oh, did you get it? Alright, did you get it? I would say that that was a very good purchase for the enjoyment that it is giving our cats. There's these little like rubber. We were at the store yesterday. We were at the like dollar store. Chris was getting like little floaty ducks and animals for the pool because our grannies has an event at school, and they filled the pool. They got a pool on site, not like a kiddie pool. It's like 18 inches deep. But they've got a kiddie pool that they fill every year for the kids at preschool, kindergarten and stuff. So they have a pool event at school next week. So we were buying little toys for our grandniece. And then we inadvertently found these little rubber... Hang on, let me see if I can... She's down there playing with that thing. Like, She throws it up in the air. She just plays in that little corner. The problem is Lucas. Lucas chews things, and he got a hold of his last night and proceeded to try to drag it off underneath the bed where he can chew it into little pieces. And they're like little rubber. It's probably not good for animal consumption, so I'm just gotta make sure we keep an eye on them when they're playing with them so they don't have 5 minutes of uninterrupted time with the toy, because Lucas will 100% chew off a foot or a tail and then eat it. His sister yesterday, like Luke and Leia were playing with it, and Leia literally growled at him and grabbed the lizard by the tail and took it out into the backyard, into the catio. So it's definitely... We bought those 2 days ago. They played with them for the first time yesterday, and it's like, damn, these are effective little tools. Because they look just like the lizards these cats have hunted their whole lives. Like, we don't really have mice around here. There are mice, which they have gotten a few times, but it's mostly lizards. Alright, so I think she's okay. She's still playing with it. I haven't seen her try to, like, sit there and just chew on it, so... So I had to click on this twice. Interesting. Can I use this to get out to the big ship? Machine says, why did I think he was initially showing as a real lizard the cats found outside? No, but I have somewhere on video when Lucas and Leia were kittens, and before Dora had had the litter with the next round of kittens, we had Dora went out and brought home, like Mama Cat went out and brought back like a full-on 2-foot long iguana. Like, she went out there and captured it, fought it. It was longer than she was. Like, it was bigger than her. So Dora went out and got this like 2-foot long iguana that's like twice her size, and drug it back to the house and brought it in. This is before we had doors on the property. It's before we had the catio. We didn't have, it was like she could just go in and out as she pleased. Well, I mean, we had doors, but like if they were open in the daytime, we didn't have like a catio or anything like that. And so she would just come and go from the forest as she pleased with the kittens. And they'd been living, she'd been a street cat her whole life, living in those woods. So that was just her thing, was I'm gonna hunt and kill lizards. And she brought this frickin' iguana back into the house that was mostly dead, but not all the way dead. And it was like 2 foot long, and I hear Chris yelling from the other room, and so I burst out of the office like, what's going on, what's happening? And Dora's down on the floor with this lizard that she's drug in the house, and she's like showing her kittens how to attack it and how to kill it, right? And Leia was scared of it. Leia was like, oh my god, this is, no, I'm not. Lucas, on the other hand, was like, fuck yeah, Mom, what's this big monster? And he just tore into it. It's the only time I've ever had to give Lucas a bath, because he went into this thing and got covered, and he was probably only 4 months old. I mean, he was maybe 8 inches long, and that lizard was like 2 feet. So, I mean, he was taking up like a third of the lizard at most. And he just went to town on this thing with his back claws and trying to throw it up in the air. He couldn't throw it up in the air, but he could slam it up against the wall. And so he was just doing what mommy showed him, and he got covered in iguana stuff, like just all the stuff from the iguana getting taken out. And he stunk so bad, and it was like, dude, you're getting a bath. But no, they hunt lizards every day. That's their big thing, is lizards. Lucas cries every day. Him and his sister both, but Lucas especially. He goes to the front door, and he'll sit there and howl for like 10 minutes until you take him out to the front yard so that he can go hunt the lizard. Yes, good girl. Yes, you killed the lizard. It's dead now, sweet. Good girl. So he goes outside pretty much every day into the front yard and goes and hunts a lizard. Most of the ones they catch are they're like 2 to 4 inches long, maybe a 6-incher. But they're all over the place. They're like freaking grasshoppers and spiders where we live. So used to have them in the house a lot. We haven't had any in the house for a very long time. I should say they still come in the house, but our cats eliminate them immediately. Like probably every 2-3 days there'll be one that comes in the house, and the cats immediately get it. Which consequently, when we first moved in, we didn't have any spider webs up in the corners because the lizards would come in and eat all the spiders. And since we no longer have lizards coming in, we have spiders up in the corners. Nature, man. Ship management. Oh, it's got its own storage. Ship gear as well. I could put all sorts of fun stuff. But I can't do it unless I have a wharf. So I'm obviously going to have to build a wharf.
Helm's yours, Captain.
I do wish we got a different POV. Holy shit, look at all the new question marks that just showed up on the map. We're gonna have to explore these islands. Hey, no. I saw what you did there. Get down. My poor little ship is right down there getting crushed. I'm not really in the mood to do combat, but we might have to get back, unless I just fast travel. It says I need a wharf, though, so that might be something I have to build. Yeah, I actually fought off a few iguanas when we first, and I had to fight one about, I think it was last summertime. Chris and I had to take one out, not take one out, but I had to fight it off and like get it to retreat back into the woods. So we had put this is probably like last March or April. We had put, we bought this is when we only had 3 ducks. We haven't done it. Chris hasn't used it in a while because we have 30 ducks and it's too much of a job. But we had a little, like a watering trough that you would buy for cows, like a big, thick plastic watering tub. But we had bought one of these and put it in the ground as a little duck pool. And when it was only 3 ducks, it was manageable because, you know, Chris would clean it like once a week. And that was fine. But once we had like all the ducklings and everything else, it was like, oh no, and now it's got to be cleaned every day because how much duck poop and everything else is getting in there. So that became too much of an issue with her, so we haven't used it in a while. But when we first installed it and we're using it, the iguanas were coming down from the forest because they were like, oh, water source. We can go get drinks from that thing. Well, we started getting ducklings, and they like to eat. The iguanas will eat eggs, and they will also eat little ducklings and little chickens. So we had one of the larger ones, who was about 3 feet long, start getting in the water acting like a freaking alligator. and he would get down in the water, and he would keep his head right there where he could see and so he could breathe, but he'd be hanging out just underneath the water's surface, and he would be waiting. Now, the baby chicks weren't big enough that we weren't giving them unfettered access to the water. We would keep them off, and then Chris would go out there 2 or 3 times a day, let all the ducklings out, put them in the water, and let them swim around for a little while. But we weren't just letting them have unfettered access. So I had to go out there and take care of this frickin' iguana, and he did not want to come out of that goddamn water tank. So I had a rake, and we had a shovel. Chris had a shovel in her hand, and I had the rake, and we had to go out there and get this fucking 3-foot iguana to leave our the duck pool. And he was not nice. He was very aggressive. He like hissed at us. We finally got, like, it took us multiple tries to get him out of the water because he was a slippery little fucker, and he kept going down and swimming around. But I was able to get him with the rake, and like, I mean, he probably weighed 40 pounds. I mean, but I finally chucked him out, and when he landed, he turned around and hissed at me and then ran at us and was hissing and spitting as he was running at us. And so Chris is like swinging the shovel, and I banged him a couple of times with the rake, and finally hit him enough times that he retreated and went back into the forest and never came back. But they are aggressive little shits, and it's technically illegal to kill them. I say technically because our neighbors have totally unalived them with the machetes and just chucked the remnants in the forest. But we have not crossed that threshold yet. But we did. That has happened. That's the worst time it's ever happened. Like, because we were trying to keep our little baby ducks safe. But we've had to chase them out of the backyard 20, 30 times every year. You have to go out there with sticks and shoo them off because they come down and look for chicken eggs. Or they'll strip your garden just clear of everything. No, there's no monkeys where we live. Out in the areas surrounding there. But those spider monkeys they just stay up in the trees. They don't ever come down. They literally sleep up in the trees and hang out in the trees, eat the fruit in the trees, travel tree to tree. They don't really bother anybody. But iguanas are a plague, man.
Captain.
They're aggressive. Alright, why can't we leave? I can leave you right here, right now, if you've grown fond of the island's palm trees, Doc. What are the strange artifacts that found on your ship? I took service on your ship with the sole purpose of delivering the artifact to the mainland at the governor's request. And once the shipment reached its destination, they'd quietly dispose of me and my crew. We're not pirates, after all. You would have been paid handsomely, and would have returned to my practice on Tortuga. If there's anything left to return to, we must still recover the artifact, whatever the cost. Though with all due respect, that artifact's not my concern. You are dead, Cap. Bullet through your heart. Thomas Richards killed you right there on the deck. Trust a physician, no man lives through such a wound, and yet here you are, walking, talking, and breathing. I wager my scalp blood's connected to the artifact Mr. Richards took. Windrose developers, please get a budget for voice acting. Thank you. I love the game so far. Please get a budget for voice acting. The governor had eyes everywhere, especially amongst Edward Teach's lackeys. Rumor has it the Blackbeard has a similar artifact and uses it to turn men into undead servants. None can say how much time you have left. If anything can save you, it's the artifact and its powers. How do we get it? Okay. They say Thomas Richards, the pirates who stormed our ship, lies holed up not far from here. Has a fortified camp in one of the caves. There's only one way in, and the gate is almost always locked. You can get inside if you take black marks from his lieutenants guarding 2 jungle camps. Okay. I need a lead that point me towards a trader. Maybe there's something at Richard's camp. Alright. So that gave me a couple of new quests. Okay, however, before we do anything, it's time to do some upgrades. If I don't want my ship to sink on its very first voyage, I need to build a shipwright's workshop at the camp. Excuse me. It's going good, Templar. Gray says I find a bug in shattered space. Interesting. Ren lives in Hammerfell with Khajiit followers. I think it's too hot here to be Hammerfell. But I do have lots of Khajiits. Oh, speaking of which, you're not supposed to be sleeping over there. Hang on, I do have to go put a blanket down for her, because she's on top of the sheets. 1 second. She is being a naughty girl, so. Alright. I wouldn't be able to tell you how the combat is in this game because I don't really give a shit about the combat.
So many unanswered questions.
It's combat. It's not something I'm focused on. I'm focused on the exploration, the story, the crafting. Build a shipwright's workshop. I need 10 coarse fabrics. Oh, it's got to be placed. Alright, we can put it right here. Oh yeah, I dinged level 3. I got my first talent points. Okay. Are you literally sleeping underneath the blanket now, Blanca? She's being... Alright. . 10% effect from healing. Temporal health gain. I don't know what temporal health is. Additional 20 stamina. I think I'm going to take the stamina. Yep, I'm taking stamina. And I'm taking 2 ranks of it. Alright, now I need to craft 12-pounder cannons. A few simple ones. It doesn't say how many I should make. I need a roof? Oh, of course I do. Alright, probably not gonna have space to place this in here. I'm gonna have to actually build. Alright, well, I think what that means is we're gonna have to do an actual build now. I need to build a dock. And place some sort of a covered structure out here. Well, I probably need to go harvest a shitload of wood. Nope. Ah, the snapping sometimes. Come on. Came out 3 on that side, let's come out 3 on this side too. Alright, now I'm going to build some walls around this structure, but I need trees. Yeah, sea shanties are good. For anybody who's wanting to know about my Diablo 4 plans, you can check out the Diablo 4 playlist as well as the scheduled video at the top of my YouTube channel. All those things have already been laid out and detailed. We've been playing Diablo 4 for the past 6 weeks or so, getting prepped and ready for the DLC. But yeah, all those stuff, that's over in the Diablo 4 playlist. All those deets are over there. Short version, yes. Long version, go watch the Diablo 4 videos. How did it die? Interesting. Did it die because the tree fell on it? Didn't see what happened there. Alright, this should be enough to get me going again. Alright, we need to build, let's see here. Some sort of walls at the moment. Wait, could I have done a foundation too? Hang on, where'd it go? Foundations, I'll be damned. Excuse me, I didn't know I had. Can I attach that in any way? Oh, hell yeah. Oh, it won't go down in. There it goes. It's being a little fussy about. You get down in there. I wish. Oh, move Z down. Z. There we go. Oh, there we go. So you just have to prompt it to be like, yo, dude, the default is down here, not up here. Can I do that with this? This has got to be way easier. Right. I like how I'm leaving. Oh no! Oh, I'm out of stone. That's a first. I had a whole bunch of stone that I threw away too. Ha ha ha! Alright, let's go find some more stone really quick. Oh, that's sulfur. My bad. Boom, 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 boom. Piggy, piggy. No, this game is not on the PS5. This game is in early access, PC only. That's sulfur. Well, that didn't give me a lot of stone. Maybe it's enough to finish building this. I think I gotta. How do I do this? Story mode. I think I gotta place one under that. No, it won't. So I'm guessing I don't need to place one underneath it. Alright. Well, that gives me a nice edge around everything. Now, theoretically, if I can build the wood up, what I'd like to do is put another row of like a short wall around. Yeah, if I could do like this, where I could do like a short wall. Like right here around the edge. I don't know what I want to do here. I think like those walls better. And then I could build like half walls, and then the question is how do you get the ceilings up? This is what I gotta like figure out. Like, do I have to have full walls to connect ceilings to, or rooftops to? I bet I do, because I don't see any like columns and oh, pillars and beams. Yeah, can I put rooftops based off of these things? Because if I can, where are these things snapping to? Where's rooftops? $45. No, see, I want flats. No. Definitely don't want that. I want a flat roof. How do I find that? These are all like at an angle. However, it doesn't look like you have to attach those, because those definitely will just attach to that. I am not concerned about tides or storms. Nope. If I have to be aware of those things, the game has not told me so. Off the top of my head, no, I do not, Vicky. I have no idea where that is on Neon and Starfield. Not off the top of my head. Well, I do not see flat roofs. There's no flat rooftops. If there is no flat rooftop, I'm gonna build a angled lean-to style roof. Yeah, fuck that. I think we're gonna do it like this. And we're gonna start. Can I get it to come out past the edge? Yeah, I think I would like it to come down to that angle. So that's the starting point. Good thing is, it appears I can stack the roofs. This isn't like Dune Awakening where it's like, no, there's no support. See, I really wish I had a flat roof, because this is going to end up being way too tall for what I want to do. So then what? I bring it back down? I think I have to bring it up one more. I'm not a fan of this. I want flat rooftops, man. Oh, put a floor. I didn't think about that. Ah, I didn't think about the floor. Thank you, AFK Mar. I did not think about that. Hang on. Crisis averted! I didn't know that I could use a floor in that way. Some games will let you. I didn't even think to check. Thank you for that. That was a great tip. Come on now. That will work nicely. I wonder why it went from green to yellow. Now it's in orange. Is that when I'm running low on materials, maybe? Uh-huh. That's exactly what that represents. Okay. Those were plant fibers. Alright, cool. I need a lot more plant fibers. Yeah, I've decided to stay away from the early access for Grounded 2, and the only reason is because I played so much Grounded 1 with my brother and my sister-in-law that I've kind of already seen the entire gameplay loop, and I jumped in when they first launched the early access for Grounded 2, and I played, I don't know, 15, 20 hours. I was like, okay, this is going to be awesome, I'm going to wait. Like, I'll wait on that one to hit full 1.0 release before I put any significant time into it. If I hadn't have played the first one so much, I would probably be willing to do it, but I'm like, nah. I've played a ton of Grounded already. It's the same gameplay loop, just with cooler stuff. I shall wait. Rick Moranis is out of retirement for Spaceballs 2, which is crazy to think about. My generation know him from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, as well as other films. And then he retired to take care of his family. Oh! Don't place it in the middle of nowhere. Ah, see, I have hit a point where it says the structure's unstable. So it is like Dune Awakening in that you can only build so much. Okay, that's fine. We need some more columns, I think. Assuming... Yep, it's green now. So that's an interesting way to do it. They color code the support. That's actually really, God, man, that would be great if Dune Awakening did that, or something similar where I could know. Alright, now I know I can tear down this one. Let's work on the beams. What is this structure for? My own pleasure? Some more can supplies here. Plant fibers, come to me. I have need of the plant fibers. Alright. We probably need ones running across here in the middle. Alright, that should give us uniform. Oh, that one is like placed way fucking wrong. Let's line that shit up. I mean, I need a chalk line, guys. One of these is out of whack. Can't see it from my house. That's all that matters, right? Alright. Like Pirate Minecraft? A little bit. That was a great tip, by the way, AFK More. I didn't even think about putting a floor up top. That did work. Lots more fibers. That's right, hide the flaws of molding and furniture. It's exactly what you do. Put the cuts behind the door, no one's gonna see it. Back behind the baseboards. Underneath the underneath the trim. No one's ever gonna see that shit. That's where the wall outlet goes, bro. Just put the wall outlet over it. The funniest thing ever was, so my brother, I grew up in it. My brother did not. He knows how to do lots of things. My brother is very adept, but like he's been doing remodeling of his bathroom, and he's been sending me these awesome voice messages about, hey, what should I do about this? Because he's trying to line up like at the tile where he wants it to be, and it's nice to be able to, you know, do something for your younger brother and be like, dude, I have so much experience with this shit. Here, let me show you how this goes. Put that cut over there. No one's ever gonna see it. Stop stressing about making cuts. Doesn't have to be centered. No one's ever gonna know. You're never gonna know. I guarantee you, after you've taken 50 shits in that bathroom, you're not gonna care where the cut is. Let's make it look good. Doesn't matter if it's off by 3/4 of an inch. The funniest thing to me is having done it for so long, and I still, even though I've been out of the industry now for, oh god, I sold all my tools in my truck in 2007, so it's been 20. Has it been 20 years? Almost 20 years. And I still, if you use the flatten option with the shovel, you can get lots of fiber. What? Is this a tip I'm not aware of? Flatten. Oh shit. Well, thanks for that tip. I had no idea you could do this. I've been running around the whole time just like with... That is an extremely good tip, Frost. Thank you very much. Obviously, you got to be doing it on top of plants. Anyway, it used to drive me nuts because I would go, and every single time I would go into somebody's house or go into a bathroom or something in a restaurant or anywhere, I'd be like eyeballing all the trim and everything and walking. I'd just be like, that's out of square. That's not a professional. That's not a professional. A professional did not work on this job. Thankfully, I've gotten away from that after all the years. I don't really care anymore. I used to care a lot. I used to just, and some of it was just unconscious. Like, you care because you did it for so long. But it's nice to not stress about it. This house, by the way, is so far out of square. Game is great with the controller for some things, not great for other things. I prefer to do the building with mouse and keyboard because you can fine-tune things a little better, but the controller works great. It's a preference thing. And sometimes I will put the mouse and keyboard down and I'm doing this on the controller again. Like, it's fine. It's actually quicker to do it on the controller. For some stuff, you can do it. Other things that are like fine-tuning and placements and stuff, I do prefer the mouse and keyboard. Works fine. And for combat and exploration, I would not play this with mouse and keyboard. I would not be playing this game unless it had controller support, because I refuse to play games that are mouse and keyboard only. But they do have a ways to go to get the controller support to being as robust as the mouse and keyboard support. Thankfully, they are aware of it. They have a big disclaimer in the controllers section that says, hey, this is a work in progress. We will be making this better as we get deeper into the game. But it works great as is. I have major hand issues, so I do not enjoy mouse and keyboard. So, But there are some things, like inventory management is way easier with mouse and keyboard, and certain hand placing of like to fine tune your crafting structures. But I'm doing all of this with a controller right now, like it's fine. All right, our basic structure has now been built. However, you know what we also might want to put on here? Do we want to put eaves on it? Nah, I don't think we need eaves as well. We're good. All right, now I can place that stupid thing they wanted me to place over here. All right. I think it was this right here. Yeah, it's this thing. Oh, I can't see if it's hanging over is the problem. Yeah, it's totally hanging over. Oh shit. Yeah, that cannon thing needs to be back quite a ways. Snapping is on. Can I fine tune that rotation angle? Oh, you can. There's a hold on. There's a different. Oh, thank you. Yeah, but can I? Oh, see my. Okay, no, that works. Other than I fell in the water. Hold up. How do I jump? I can't get out of there. That kind of stuff needs some work. Yeah, it definitely needs a build camera. They need a build camera so that I can place things without physically moving my character. Because the way it works right now is you have to physically move your character to place the objects. See what I mean? Not a fan of this right here because I want to be able to and I can't do it. I would have to move the roof structure to be able to see where I want to place that. That is annoying as fuck. Like, that definitely needs some work. This is an area that needs a lot of polish. Did I somehow flip this thing? Okay. I'm gonna pull it back here and see how that works. I'm gonna live with that. I can live with that. Those cannons are like right on the edge, but it's braced up against that pillar. I can deal with that right there. Okay. And now, see, eventually I'm gonna tear all that shit down back there, and we're gonna flesh this out even more. This is gonna be a full-on pirate base as we get deeper into this. Yeah, that stuff sticks with you, machine. You do landscaping, and suddenly you're starting to look at everybody's lawns, and you're like, that's not plum. Why is that tree bent that way? My favorite is my brother and I have this sick thing where we'll go on TikTok once a month and just we'll both dive down the rabbit hole of watching home inspections. Because there's people who do like home inspection videos on TikTok and Instagram. And you see the shit that people are trying to sell for like $2-3 million homes. And then the inspector shows up and the shit that they find on these like $3 million homes is just like, goddamn, you are not getting quality anymore at all for the money that you pay. You are so much better off learning how to do it yourself and build it yourself, or don't work with fucking contractors, man. Go find the people who are specialists in their field. Do not work with a general contractor. Do not work with a general contractor. Like, you want to build a home, you go out there and you do your due diligence. I would not build it out of wood. There's no way I would build a house out of wood. That is, my wife is this funniest thing. Like, you start talking to all these people who are from everywhere other than the U.S. or North America, and everybody asks, why does the U.S. build their homes out of wood? It's because wood is the most readily available thing. It's easily replaced, can be regrown, and commercially, you can sell lots of wood, insure the house for 30, 40 years, and then rebuild the house when it gets blown over by a tornado, rots, or whatever, because it's not about building a long-term home, it's about building a capitalist home that is going to keep the economy growing, and so you constantly want to be building new homes. You don't want homes that last for 5 generations. But if you look at Germany, Austria, England, stone structures, castles that exist to this day. You come in Latin America, everybody builds with concrete and adobe and brick and block. Now, granted, there are things that you consider with earthquake areas and etc., but these homes don't burn down. They don't fall down unless there's like earthquake areas, and then you build things to code for earthquakes. But like a brick home, a block home will last generations if it's built properly. A wood home, 30, 40 years. If you're lucky, 150 years if it's been built with treated lumber and you're not in a humid environment and there's no termites and there's no mold and mildew and it's perfect dry climate and there's not a lot of moisture and blah, 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 blah. Like, wood homes are the worst thing ever, man. It is not built to last. How many 12-pounders do I need? Oh, boarding party gear. What is this? Equipment reserved for close quarters combat. Better gear means better armed boarders. Oh, that's something I can equip to my ship. Increases power of your crew while boarding other ships. How many? Oh, I just realized. So this is, if I look at the ship. Well, let me just build one. Build a wharf. I need 10 coarse fabrics. I'm going to move all these structures over there too. The other thing too is I wish they would add a move structure feature. How come that's not snapping the way I want it to? I guess that is... Oh, there we go. So I can equip it with other things too. Okay. Destroy Blackbeard Pirate's catch. Yeah, that's later. We're decking my ship out first. I need 7 coarse fabrics. Give me 2 seconds, everybody. My wife is up. All right. She is up. We are not going to the property today. She butchered a duck last night, and she wants to cook, so she's going to go cook the duck. And then she said she wants to go to church today, so she's going to go cook her duck, and then she's going to go do her stuff. So no walk today down to the property. Flatten. She's yelling at Frodo right now. He's got the zoomies, and he's jumping around like climbing windows and stuff. She's trying to do morning chores. He's being a monster. At the same time, I do need some of these. I don't know. I still feel like the axe can be quicker because you're knocking a bunch of the fibers off of these trees at the same time, whereas you're only getting the fiber. The trick with the shovel works great if it's like an area where you can get plenty of these plants, but that's not always the case. Because like these right here I can't get to because they're too close to the tree. Or they're in between the tree. There we go. I guess maybe if you position it slightly. Alright. Reaper says they love the channel. Tens of thousands do. Welcome aboard. I needed coarse fabrics. 7 of them. So I can still make hull plating, and then there's like a book. Oh shit, you could customize your ship? Oh, we're gonna call this the, what do I want to call it? The Wraith. That sounds good for now. I did not know you could change the sails and stuff. Oh, stormy sky? Fuck yeah. Flags. Definitely gonna put that. So I'm assuming we get more customization options later. Because it's showing me whole sails flag, and I don't have access to everything yet. So that's some cool shit. Alright, I don't know what the book option is for, but I can make the whole stuff. What do I need, though? I need 2 nails. No, damn it, it didn't work. There we go. I don't know what the book is for. I haven't seen that yet. You also need to repair ship occasionally, so that's that, that's that. Let us stash our goodies in the boxes. Nasty bush, let's get on my front yard. How dare you destroy the aesthetic of my property? Okay. I have, what is the better pill? Track quest. Ooh, recommended character level 9. Jesus, I'm only 3. So, that is a long-term plan. A pirate ship keeps prowling near my camp. I'd better get rid of it, or one day I might wake up to a cannonball slamming into my shelter's roof. You can build it from storage, AFK More. Thankfully. Yeah, this from the get-go you can craft from the storage containers. That is a win. That is a quality of life feature that every fucking crafting survival game needs to have. Let me craft from my storage. Don't make me have it on my character. What's up, Gene? Good morning. Yeah, deposit all, similar, deposit same, you know. All those things are great quality of life features. Alright, let's see here. Gene says I ended up buying the game. I'm enjoying it so far. Nice. Alright, well I supposedly am supposed to find a ship close to here that I need to go take out. I don't know how to do so yet. Too bad I can't, like... Oh, hold on. I can build ships now. Okay. This is like a much bigger ship with a ton of hit points. The Blackbird variant has fewer hit points, but a better max speed. So it depends. So the Brother and Kretsch has the cargo space. That's cool. So there's a whole another layer of this is a lot more like Dune Awakening than I thought it was. Because Dune Awakening, you've got your Scout Thopters, your Carrier Thopters, your Assault Thopters, you've got your Mining Buggies. Like, there's all those different variants. Okay, this is way more like Dune Awakening than I thought it was. Okay. That is a boatload of resources to build a ship. It appears like it's the same resources for each one. Sturdy stills and spacious holds. It's slightly faster. This is a raider vessel. Not a lot of cargo space. You can get different blueprints from merchants on other islands. That's cool as hell. Wow, okay. Yeah, there's definitely more going on. Like, I did not get any of this from the demo. Alright, ship management. I'm currently docked. I've got my cargo space. I love that. I love the fact that I can do customization. I do wish we had different POVs, because it would be great to be able to pull out and have a photo mode to take pictures of my ship, man.
Captain at the helm.
Hang on, LBRB, what is this? Shit, I don't know what any of this stuff is. Is there a control? You need to show me what things are here for the boat. Select type of cannonballs. Cannonball chain shot. Okay. Go to the wheel and press F. Why is that nowhere on the motherfucking UI? Like, why is that not on the UI telling you that you can do that? And how do I do that on the controller? Right thumbstick. Why is that not on the fucking UI? Like, they need a button on the UI that tells you. So, shout out to chat for that. Like, holy fuck. Can I also just, let me, hold up a minute, guys. Have I been able to do that the whole time? Or is it only when you're on, wait, am I going backwards? I may have been going backwards and crashed in a second. It's X, not B. So it doesn't do it. Hang on. So does it also do it when you're in this character mode, or only when you're on the ship? So, no, you're forced into this POV. I had a brief moment of hope that I was also going to be able... Holy shit, the name of my ship shows up on the back of the ship. Well, I'll be damned. I'm taking a screenshot. They need a photo mode, guys. They need a photo mode. Hang on, we're getting sidetracked for a minute because I gotta go do a screenshot for social media. They definitely need a hide the UI. By the way, is there a way to hide the UI, guys? Before I do this screenshot with the UI. I'm not playing mouse and keyboard, so I don't know what all the controls are. Before I take this screenshot and post it all over social media, can you hide the UI in any way? You all are my saviors. Thank you. That is a much better screenshot. Actually, you know what though? I'm gonna even here. Oops, wrong keyboard. Can I pull my weapon somehow? Oh, that's a proper screenshot, mateys. Alright. Thank you for the help, guys. Alright, let me go to my social medias. Alright, that's out on Twitter. Let's go to Blue Sky. I don't think this company has any social media other than... It's really weird. Alright, post that. And now we're going to go to Facebook. I do love the music in this game. Oh, we haven't even gotten into the sea shanties yet, because I know there's sea shanties. I saw those in the demo. Well, that's pretty freaking awesome, guys. Like, the more I play this, the more there are little things that I'm like, ooh, this game has way more going on than I knew it had going on, and I'm actually really happy that I jumped in on this. Because I originally was like, "Oh, I'm not really in the mood for another crafting survival game. And then I was like, oh, wait, there's adjustable difficulties. Oh, wait, I can do what now? I can do that? I can do this? Okay, yeah, now I'm way more interested. Of course, I gotta figure out how to get back up on my ship, though. Is there a maiden on the front? Not at the moment, there's not. But I will put a buxomed wooden winch on the front the moment I get a chance. Oh, I don't think it's counting me as on the ship at the moment because I don't actually have the icons. Oh wait, I forgot I hid the UI. Ha! What a tard! I forgot I hid the UI. I was like, wait!
Ship's under your hand, Captain.
Alright, let's, so I have to choose between shot style.
Catch the wind.
Oh, that's so much better for fucking... I did not know you could do this yesterday, so I was all struggle busing with like, I can't see where I'm supposed to go. And I did not know that there was a second POV that you could... Oh, shit. I know that you can't pause the game and stuff, but like, knowing how to hide the UI now. Let's try not to crash this bad boy though. Oh, sea shanties.
All together. Oh, Maggie, Maggie, May, they're taking you away. Just sail upon Van Diemen's cruel shore. Oh, you're on so many whalers and many drunken sailors, but you'll never cruise round Liverpool no more. Now come here, all you sailors bold, and listen to me.
Nope. Hang on, let's just keep turning. Keep turning. I don't want to get caught by those guys. I was going to go grab those treasures, but I'm not in the mood for random encounters. Because I haven't learned combat yet. I need to do one. Quest track. How many hours to get to this point? 6 or 7 hours. Yes, so if you get the supporter pack, which is what I picked up, you actually get the soundtrack. And there is a guy who does all of these soundtracks. All the tracks. There is a musician they worked with. There's the shipcrafter. So there's these loot things that remind me of like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. You can run around and like grab those loot things in the sea. And there's more songs, by the way.
I thought I heard the old man say, leave her, Johnny, leave her, tomorrow, yeah.
I do not know how to fire. It hasn't shown me how to like... I don't know how you do this part.
Wake the gun.
Alright, it has not given me any tutorials of how to do ship combat. What the fuck am I supposed to do here? Pushing... Oh, hold on. What am I supposed to do here? There's no tutorial whatsoever on this part right here, guys. None. I am completely clueless. Like, they did not tell me shit about how to do this. Is that showing me the recharge of my cannons? Is that what that is? So that center thing on my HUD is like the front cannon. And then depending on the angle of your camera, can I do it from here? No, it forces you into this POV. Okay, I am sucking really bad at this right here. This is gonna take me a fucking forever to do this. Because there's a lead on this thing too that you have to pay attention to. Oh, I finally hit him. Do you turn more quickly? I have to damage this ship more instead. That chicken shit's running. That broadside did not work like shit. I think I might be able to board him now. Get alongside. That was not alongside. I'm just like crushing and begin boarding. Begin boarding. There we go. Begin boarding. Begin it! Prepare to board the enemy ship. Oh. Fuck yeah. We have to climb. Oh shit, we're over. Oh wait, had to remember my sword out. I'm a bad pirate. Oh, the target is so janky. No, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. How do I use my potions? How do I use? No. How do I use my potions? There's guys downstairs. Fuck me. I don't know how to use my potions on the controller, guys. That sucks. I'm gonna have to what? Call my ship and go all the. How do I use the potions on my controller? It's Y and over. That's me not knowing the controls. How do I do it on mouse and keyboard? The number 8. Okay, I saw the number 7, and so I was mashing the number 7 on the keyboard, and that was the charges, not the. How does this work? Do you call your ship back? Okay, do I need to repair the ship? I need to repair my ship. Holy shit. Took a ton of damage. Okay. Alright. They need a fucking tutorial
Ship's under your hand.
on how to do the ship. There was zero tutorial on how to do any of that shit. And so I just had to figure it out. I have loved... I mean, I even loved that combat sequence. That was awesome. However, developers of Windrose, you have got to get a tutorial in your game for ship combat. Because holy shit, I had to try to figure that out in the middle of that fight with zero clue of anything going on. My ship lost 60% of its damage or health in the middle of that fight. I don't know how much more could have died. But that needs a tutorial in a big way. But super fun once you figure out the controls. That was... I thought I had a crew. Like, you can't pirate the ship without a clue. It doesn't matter if there's a codex explaining ship combat. I'm sure there is somewhere. We'll go looking here in a minute. But the game should have a big old pop-up tutorial that tells you this is what you need to do. Push left to steer left. Push right to steer right. Hold the left trigger to fire the types of weapons you want to fire. Like, it doesn't tell you anything about any of that. And it needs to be on screen. It needs to be visible. Well, I don't want to die again. Closing the man. There my guys go. Okay, so I maybe jumped too soon last time. Alright. So some of that is just me learning how to play the game. There was definitely some control options there that I had. Oh, there's more guys down here. But they're not attacking me at the moment. No supplies down here. Return to the helm. Return to the ship, taking the helm will end the boarding action. Okay.
Ship's under your hand, Captain.
That ship is sinking. I'm out of coffee. Love it. All right, this right here there needs to be a tooltip. I need tooltips. What does all this shit do? Like, Flagship. Here we go. Now I can see some stuff that's equipped. It's a combat repair kit. It's a repair kit. Okay. Okay. Excuse me. No, don't put that on. Head over to the Tortuga Market. No, Richard's camp is way top away. Does that have a... No, we could do that. Head to the Tortuga Market. Yep. However, before I do that, I know I've got a bunch of stuff back at my home base that I could grab to go sell in Tortuga. Does it give me a... Yeah, those are recommended level 4 anyway, so... Let's definitely meander down there. However, I do know there are some items... Bacon and eggs? I know there's some stuff I can sell. Sold to Tortuga. There we go, right there. Sold to Tortuga. Oh, these might contain pearls. I never noticed that. It's not what I want to do, damn it. How do I... Is there a way to just, like... Turns you to the last revival point? I don't need that. Could be sold to smugglers. Sold to smugglers. Well, I haven't found smugglers yet. Turn it in Tortuga for faction. Now, Tortuga is a long way away, so before I make that trek... What's up? Why are you stealing my phone? Because you don't know where your phone is. Ha ha ha. Yeah, he's got zoomies. Nope. No, you're changing sheets on the bed. He's not gonna let you change sheets. Her too. I couldn't get her off the bed today. Look where she is. She refused to get off the bed, and when I tried to get her, she just goes underneath. Huh? I know. She doesn't want it. She doesn't want to use her bed today. She wants that bed, and she won't get off the sheets. And when I tried to get her off the sheets, she got mad and started attacking the blanket. Yes, put Lucas's picture. All right. I think I am going to go ahead and wrap it up here, guys. I've been going for 3 hours. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to go. I think I'm going to take a walk. Enjoy the beautiful morning outside. Get a stretch. Take some exercise. See what the day is going to bring. I should be back this afternoon around 1 p.m. for some Starfield. Unless I come back earlier to play Starfield. We're definitely playing Starfield later today. The plan is about 1 p.m., but I might come back earlier if I don't decide I want a nap. But I don't know if I want to do a nap yet. We're going to wrap on the Windrose portion of the morning. Stretch my legs, do the things, get some sun on my face. And I'll see everybody later on.